Good morning, my wonderful friends. Thank you for joining me today. Today is Trashcraft Tuesday, and I've got an idea in my brain. I have not tried it, but I think it's going to be kind of cool. So come along on this journey with me, and we're going to make something. It can be interpreted in lots of different ways. So I'm going to be making mushrooms for the mushroom journal that I'm working on, but you could do it with whatever decal you like: flowers, grass, leaves, buildings. I don't know. Choice is yours. Excuse me, bit froggy this morning. So I'm inspired by this wrapping paper, used wrapping paper that I got from my favorite junk shop just on Friday. So it's still got residue of sticky tape and stuff on it. It's all crinkled. Love it. When I picked it up, I just liked it. I didn't know what I would do with it, but I liked it. So I picked it up. And then I was looking at it this morning going, it's perfect for toadstools. Isn't it? Like red spots. I know the fly agaric, the red toadstool with the white dots, is red with white dots. But I think this is still going to make cool toadstool. So I'm going to work with that. I've also grabbed out a neutral scrap, some backing paper to stiffen this up. So this is banana paper used to go in between bunches of bananas in a banana box. So it's stiff paper, but it's not cardstock because I didn't want it too thick. And then just a scrap of book page. And this is the journal page in the mushroom journal that I want to add this into. So, of course, I'm going to leave the mushrooms there as they are. But this side is not anything really particularly super interesting for a mushroom journal. So I'm going to build it on this page, and it's going to be a pocket, a shaped pocket. I have no idea how this is going to go, so we'll just work it out as we go along. So let's start with our mushroom cap, or a toadstool cap. And maybe I just want to cut a section of this, make it easier to work with. Sounds like a good idea to me. And I can grab more if I need it. So that's that. I also think I want to cut this piece of backing paper to kind of the size that I want, so I know what sort of space I'm working with. So I'm just cutting off that uneven bit at the bottom. And I think probably about there would be a good width, so it's not full page width. And this is a small page. It's not a typical size of a page for my journal, but I think that's fine. You can work with whatever size you like and adapt it to suit. So just chopping off those bits as well. And height, we want room for things to tuck in at the top. Oops, that is not straight at all. Can we straighten that up? It's not going to stay the shape, it's going to be cut down. But I kind of want to work straight, so that's not crooked at the end. Right, so I'm thinking maybe there. And it gives me a little bit extra room to move if I decide to make it slightly taller. But I don't think we should. Okay, so that's my basic confines for my page of what I'm working with. And it's just a rough kind of guideline. So I'm going to sit my paper on top. And I want a nice big central mushroom or toadstool. So I'm just kind of going to draw my mushroom cap. Oops, where's the edge? I think I'm making it too wide. So the edge is there. I'm just going to make a mark so I can visualize. No, not happy with that. Let's start again. Okay, so center point about there. So maybe if I draw it this way first. And then up into a cap. And you can make it whatever shape you like, because toadstools, mushrooms, they all come in different sizes and shapes, which makes them super fun to play with. Okay, is that big, as big as I want it? I'm going to go with it. I'm not going to fuss too much. So I'm going to cut this out. I have no idea if this is going to work, guys. So bear that in mind. It's just an idea. I think it will be cool though. Like, you know, it might take a bit of toing and froing to get what I want, but you know. So we don't end up with too many red dots. We can add some more in, can't we? We can always add more. Okay, now, you know how you have the gills on the upper side of the mushroom? So I want to create that out of book page. So I'm putting my piece here. I'm just going to trace along the bottom there and then kind of make a, almost like a mouth, a smile, if you like. Kind of just like a, you probably won't be able to see that. I can barely see it actually, but it should be fine. And just cutting it above my line a little bit. So I'm going to have to trim off some of the edge, but that's fine. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and ink the edges of this because I want to ink it before I put it all together. I've still got the stalk to do, so we haven't finished. I need to remember which way up this goes to. Yeah, that way. So I need to back this because none of these papers that I'm working with are particularly heavy. Right, the top edge is going to be glued underneath the cap, so I'm just going to do the bottom edge. And I'm not even erasing the pencil lines. Okay, so that's that. Actually, no, I don't need to trim. As long as I place it carefully, I don't need to actually trim any off. So I'm going to glue that together now. Don't know if that's a good idea or a bad. Oh, actually, might be a bad idea. Because the stalk needs to go in front of this. Okay, it does. So we need to grab our plain bit of neutral paper. You could use book page or whatever. I just want to use, oops. So I'm going to again draw a line under, oops, not on top of my mushroom, dear. Let's just erase that little oopsie-daisy. Right, drawing a line under there so I know the shaping. And I'm going to draw, I kind of need to make sure I get it within my template here, the height. Okay, and let's draw a nice big bottom. Big bottom, yes, I said it, didn't I? Nice big bottom. Okay, and that's the stalk. So trim that out. Leaving a bit at the top so we can tuck it in under the cap. There we go. Right, some ink. Again, I'm not going to even worry about taking away any pencil lines that might be showing. I think it's just going to add to this kind of sketchy handmade look if they show. But with the ink, they're probably not going to show anyway. Another good reason for inking. Cover over pencil lines. Okay, there we go. So this needs to glue on first. I love that. That is so cute. So far so good, guys. So let's glue that on. Right. Oops, a bit of glue on there. Okay, now this will be the trickier part. I'm going to put the glue on the back of here. About there. And now I need to position this little piece. Down a little bit. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's got a little, tiny little bit at the tip there. And the other side's good. So there's a fun toadstool. But that in itself is not really going to make much of a pocket, is it? Unless, you know, it was just a small pocket that you tucked something on the side. I want a pocket that pretty much, this is my idea, as I have a high peak for the top of the pocket and then I have lower bits at the side. So I need to make two more to go either side of this mushroom or toadstool. I think it's easier just to call them mushrooms. Taking a drink. Right, so I want a smaller mushroom. So let's go on this bottom piece. And I want to try and make it a slightly different shape, maybe a bit narrower. You could, if you wanted a symmetrical mushin, you could fold your paper in half and then draw the half and cut them out. But, no, they're not really symmetrical, are they, in nature? So wonky is fine. And cute. Like, who doesn't love a bit of wonky? Right, just going to trim out this bit. Actually, before we do that, why don't we draw another one for the other side? And maybe we'll do a flatter one. Turn it sideways. Not going to be many red dots on this one. Okay. But we can add more in, and I might. I'll see how it looks and whether I add any more red dots. So it'd be really pretty if you had a piece of floral wrapping paper. You could cut some flowers out of it or butterflies. That'd be super cool. Or a nice green or neutral bit of wrapping paper, you could cut some leaves or trees, you know, just whatever you've got, whatever speaks to you at the time. Right, I probably should just do everything in stages like a mess make, but it's just not my natural go-to, I'm afraid. I think I'll use the same book page for the gills of the mushroom, but I might use different colour papers for the stalks, just to give a bit of difference, a bit of variation. Or a bit more variation, I should say. Not worrying too much about sticking to my pencil line, just using it as a guide. You've even got a little peekaboo, but that's fine because this is going to be in the background, so I do want those to meet though. There. Okay, let's grab our book page back, and we'll use this little scrap here for this one. Oops, draw straight. Okay, so same process, just drawing like a little mouth kind of thing. And I'm going to cut it out while I can sort of remember where I've drawn. It was quite hard to see. I'm going to go above that line because that's where we're going to glue on. Okay, that's that one. Okay, now for this one, just put the lid on my ink pad while I'm doing this. Might be a good idea. So how are you going, my friends? Are you having a great day? That is my wish for you, that you're having a great day, that it's full of fun, creative things. Okay, I should have done that down a bit, shouldn't I? I'm like in the middle of the page, but that's all right. It's not like I haven't got enough book page to work with. I've got plenty of book page to work with, even more since hubby bought me 20 books on Friday. Yep, he's a good enabler, isn't he? Oh, I love that man. He's so good. And not just because he buys me stuff. He's just good. He's kind and considerate most of the time. And likes buying me things, you know. Where's the problem in that? Apart from a house that's exploding currently with books. But it will be fine. It just needs a bit of organisation and reshuffling. There is actually room for them as long as I organise things, which currently they are not organised. Right, so this one, no, that's not the bit we need for this one. We need the mushroom cap. Oh, and I haven't inked around the mushroom cap, have I, on this one? Right, so need to kind of, I mean, this isn't essential. You could just make them whatever size and work with it, but I want to make sure they fit within what I want for this this pocket, the size I want. So there. And let's go. Oh, no, I wanted to use different paper, didn't I? Hang on. Hang on. Let's use a bit of coffee dyed and try that again. Thank you for whoever was reminding me. that I wanted to use a different bit of paper. Okay. And we need to grab out another bit of paper for the other mushroom. Okay, so that's those pieces. Just making sure I keep them together. Right, another piece. What are we going to use? A bit of brown paper maybe, or is that too close to the cap? Yeah, it's too close to the cap. This one's not. This one's a different brown. Okay. This is packing paper. So I want that about, I want that a bit lower, I think. Slightly under there, like that. Okay. And I'm going to give it a really nice big fat bottom. All right, and around we go, cutting it out, leaving that little extra bit at the top to glue it on. Oops, that's actually torn there. Oh well. It'll be fine once it's all glued down. Won't be an issue, I hope. Right. Okay, let's do an inking on this one and on our other stalk. If you really didn't want the pencil lines on these, you could just turn them over and use the other side rather than rubbing it out, just depending whether it's got a direction to it. You know, if you flip it over, sometimes it's going in the opposite direction to what you intended. So bear that in mind. Just being very careful there where it's torn until it's glued in place. Right, and this one. Probably inking my fingers as much as I am the paper because they're little fiddly bits. Okay, now to construction. So we want the stalk on first, don't we? Yes, we do. So let's pop that on. Yep. Okay, and now our little gills, a little bit of book page. Just a little bit there. It's all about the detail, isn't it? All about the detail. I actually kind of like that there's not many red dots. I kind of like it. I don't think I will add any more. Okay, now this one that's torn is going to just be a little bit more tricky. Just need to make sure those bits of paper actually sit together properly. There we go. It's not looking too bad. Okay, now for the gills. Sorry, I'm probably again too low in the frame for you. Okay. Bit of paper piecing, that's what this is really. Paper piecing. And depending what you're making, whether you actually have to paper piece or not, it might all just be able to cut out of one piece. And totally, these mushrooms or toadstools you could do out of one piece if you wanted as well. So I want that there. I like sort of, this is under this bit and over this bit, and this bit's over, and then under. I quite like that. Just gives a bit more kind of dimension. Okay, I think I need another sip of my cup of tea. I'm trying to space out my coffee better than having like 3 before 10 a.m. So I'm trying to have coffee as my first one of the day, then have a cup of tea, then I can have my coffee, another coffee at like 10 a.m. That's my plan. It's been a few days. So far it's hit and miss whether I'm doing that or not. Right. I think that is really rather cute. Do I want to add any greenery at the bottom or anything else? I'm going to be trimming this back sheet, so don't panic about that. Just got a bit of green scrapbook paper here. Let's see. Just going to cut a piece off and let's have a play. Why not? I quite like this little ornamentation down the bottom there, so that might be like the very bottom. And let's kind of make some grassy bits. So just cutting these out really in different heights and shapes and depths. I wonder if my smaller scissors will actually be better. They might be. Just cutting out these. How's that looking? Oh, I think that's going to be cute. Let's keep going. Building a picture. Don't think this is ever something I've done on video, so there you go, something new. New from me anyway. Just trying to get a different angle there. Because grass goes every which way, doesn't it? Unkempt grass, not carefully manicured grass. Our grass here at home is definitely not carefully manicured. It's like, oh, we're starting to lose the cats in the grass, it's time to mow. Truth, you know. But the cats do love it when the grass is long. They love hiding in it and pouncing out of it, and you know, it's for the cats. Also for the butterflies and the birds and everything else that likes the long grass, the bugs. Not so fun when you're going to the washing line and there's been a heavy dew or something. Then it's like, oh, my feet are saturated. But for the sake of the cats, and the butterflies and the bees and the birds and the bugs. Right, I think I want to do, I haven't done many shallow ones. They've all gone quite deep. Right, how are we doing? Do we need to keep going? No, I think we're about there. Okay. Oh, or are we? Do we want to actually make it that width? No, a couple more. Okay. Oh. And one more for good measure. Right, here we go. Lots of little shrapnel there. I think that's just plain old adorable. Awesome. I'm loving how it's shaping up, but I do want to ink the grass. So I think I'll put it on the book here. So I think it's going to be dynamite to try and get in all those fiddly little points that we just made. Right, and this is a heavier paper. This card, what am I saying? Scrapbook paper is heavier, which I think suits well for the bottom of the pocket. Now, one thing to bear in mind is that if this was the top of a pocket, that would be really annoying if you're putting things in, because the potential, you know, you get caught up on the grass. We don't want that. So let's just clear the decks here a little bit so we've got room to see what we're actually doing, and so I don't get distracted. Right, so that's in the rubbish. We need the scissors still. Okay, so time to kind of glue this together, I think. So I'm going to lay it there how I want it. We can still add more red dots if we want to once it's constructed. I'm not sure. I quite like it as it is. Right, so I'm going to put just glue where the pieces overlap. Try not to move them too much, so that they stick together how I want them. Whoops, don't put glue where you don't need it. That little overlap's probably okay at the moment. So just a little bit down here, a little bit under. Oh, getting glue everywhere. Doesn't need much, it's just to hold it in place so that I'm not fighting with it all the time. And a bit under there, and then I think I will add just a little touch here, just a wee dot. Okay, so now it's one piece. See, one piece. Now the grass. So making sure I still fit within the confines of the size I wanted for my pocket. So just along the bottom of the stalks. So can you see that? Just a line of glue along the bottom to now make that all one piece. Right, I think I'm going to leave that grass like that, not glued down. It just gives a bit more dimension, even more. But the bits on the side I do want to glue down. So I'm now going to put glue over the whole thing. So these spikes, spiky grass. All over the back of the mushrooms. Thank goodness for small tipped glues for detailed work. Just make So much easier. I can't remember now back to now when before I had this glue bottle and just everything was just, I thought twice about doing something because it's like, oh, that's going to be a pain to glue. Oh, that's going to be annoying to glue. Oh, that's going to be really messy or fiddly or just impossible. And I feel like I've got a lot more freedom now because of that fine nozzle glue. Okay, so pushing down those spiky bits. The ones in the middle are lifting, and that's exactly what I want. This banana paper is quite rough and absorbent, so I've found that glue stick doesn't work very well on it. So I just stick with the tacky glue on this particular paper. Ah, yay! That's so cool. Right, from here, I now want to cut out the backing paper. Now, am I going to leave a border? Because I don't want spiky bits, because that's just going to be awkward for unless I glued it like up there, and so you're not actually putting anything in behind the spikes. Because even reinforced, I think they would just likely catch when you're putting something in the pocket. So maybe I'll just give it like a curve top. And do I want a border? So I've just can you see that? Just a kind of a wavy top. Do I want to cut right up to the mushrooms, or do I want to leave a border? Questions. I will be leaving these little bits where the backing shows. So maybe a border might work. We can always cut it down a bit further if we don't like the border. So I'm just eyeballing and going to try and cut reasonably sort of evenly as a border. It's a bit crinkled, but it's okay. Oh, that's not glued very well. Let's put a bit more glue in under there. You can see a big gap. Just give it a press. It's this banana paper. Just doesn't take to the glue particularly well. Let's chop that off, get it out my way. Right, and now just kind of a wavy top to the grass. Oops. Being a bit persnickety, but here we go. I think that's so cute. I'm really, really happy with that. Okay, so I think I will glue up the sides there. Now we do have a bit of lifting there. Is that going to be a problem? So what will, that journal card's too wide. Have we got something thinner? Just a bit of scrap paper here. So do we want to glue up here? Actually, I've got an idea. I have an idea. So, right. Do I want to distress around it? I think I need to. Yes, I think I need to. So I'm not going to glue it at this point, but I've got an idea how we can hold it down without narrowing the pocket. Do we want to add more red dots? What do you think, guys? More red dots? No, yes, maybe. Well, I don't want a maybe. That's where I'm at the moment. I'm at a maybe, so I need a yes or a no. And I know you can't answer me now in the time of this video. By the time you see it, it'll be all done. Although we could add them at any stage. No, I just like them as they are. I don't think they need lots of red dots. Yeah, okay. Right, so I'm going to glue down these short sides here on the grass, where the grass is. And I'm going to put a reasonable amount of glue on there because of this paper, this banana paper. So giving it more glue than I would if it was any other paper. And putting it about there and pressing. Oops, I've put so much glue it's seeping out. Can you see that pattern from the inking on the grass? That's quite fun. Right, hold that down for a moment, make sure it sticks. I'm really happy with that, guys. I think it's worked very well. Okay, so I'm going to pull out the fussy cuts. I think it's fussy cut that I want from Mushrooms from Days Gone By, which is the kit that I'm using for this journal. It's from the Junk Journal Studio. The links will be in the description box. And let's find something small. I don't want a mushroom because we've got our mushrooms going on, but there are some leaves. And if we don't find what we want here, we can look somewhere else. But I want to try here first. So I'm going to put all the mushrooms back in the container and just see what, just kind of looking for the other bits here. I'm sure there's more leaves. Or is that all the leaves? I mean, we could use a label or something instead, but no, that's all the leaves. Okay. So what I'm looking at is just kind of using something to anchor that down without closing the pocket, so that we get a bit more width out of it. Does that look a bit weird? No, I'm not sure that I'm loving the leaves on this. That's too big. I think the smaller leaves, if I was going to use a leaf. Or we could even put it under. No, leaves aren't doing it for me, I'm afraid. Okay, so I'll pop those back there. We could try a label or a word. So same kit. Covers too much. Button kind of a bit random with this scene. That's not too bad. We could put another one on this side as well, just to kind of even up. What else have we got to play with? Oops, flicking circles everywhere. What about a wee label? Possibility. Or a smaller label. Could even put it vertical, couldn't we? Or underneath. Kind of like that actually. What about the circle underneath? Do we need to back them as well? I'm thinking maybe we do. So I think going with these two. Or did I want the green one? Where'd the green one go? The green circle. Actually, I think I like the green because it allows the red dots to really stand out. Stand out, they do. Okay, bit of ink. So flappy sides, this is how we're going to deal with flappy sides that are kind of like sitting up. Hopefully by the end of this, we won't have flappy sides. We'll have secured sides that will hold whatever goes into the pocket. Okay, glue these onto the banana paper. I want to strengthen these up because they will end up holding, you know, holding the journal card or whatever we tuck into the pocket. There's a crinkle there, so I'm going to just avoid the crinkle because that's not going to help anything glue down. Oops. Fighting to put the lid on my glue here. There we go. Right. Right, so again, just cutting a border around the edge so that it matches the rest and increases the surface area. Oops, not doing a great job on cutting the circle. Right, ink around that. This one will be easy. Snip, 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 and wait for it. Snip. Okay, and a bit of ink around that as well. I think lower. Okay, so I'm going to put a bit of glue along this edge and a bit of glue on the back on the opposite edge. And about there will do. So just making sure that that glue on this inside edge doesn't seep through and close up our pocket, because the idea is to keep the width. Here we go. And this one, do we want it on top? Maybe we'll put it on top because that one's underneath. So a bit on this edge and also the opposite edge, but this time on the same side. Oh, now like, is that glue in the right place? I think we're okay. Right, hold those down, give them a press. I think we're done with the glue now, done with the scissors, done with our tray of labels and bits. Okay, so we've got a slight bulge there, but it's fine. It just allows room for our journal card. Okay, not quite done with the glue. I can see it's wanting to slide in between these two pieces. So I just need to put a bit more glue at the top there. So that our paper goes in behind. That's it. Once it's a, you know, we've got a proper journal card that's got the right weight to it, it will be easy to put in there. There we go, my friends. We have created, oh, that's getting a bit bent up. Maybe I will have to end up going in and gluing those down. But I think I'm just going to wait and see. I mean, if they get a bit bent up, grass gets bent up, doesn't it? It gets torn, it gets eaten. So, you know, maybe not so bad if it gets a bit ratty. So we'll see. We'll see how happy I am with that later. But there we go, my friends. I love that. I think that is so cool. Just using a bunch of trash, you know, offcuts, leftovers, scraps, used wrapping paper, and then just adding a couple of little labels from the kit just to finish it off and fix that issue of, you know, the pop out at the sides. I love it. I really do love it. And it's going to look so cool in the signature, which I've got here. So I put a little paper clip to mark where this page came out of, so I knew where to put it back. So let's pop it back in there. Line it up. There. How cool does that look? And then a journal card in behind. Boom. Awesome. Okay guys, that's my Trashcraft Tuesday project for this week. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it's inspired you to take the idea and then, you know, make it out of whatever. It doesn't have to be mushrooms. It could be any shape, pattern. Even if you just went geometric and did like diamonds or hearts or whatever. Play with it. Have fun with it. Thanks for joining me, and I'll be back again tomorrow with a new video. I'll see you then. Bye for now.